Hi everyone, so my name is Teriko Okida. I am 13 years old this year. In this class, it is called the Public Speaking Advanced class. There is 12 friends, including me, and they are namely Johnson, Vinesh, Jaden, Vania, Shenhao, Samantha, Jayin, Jared, Yao Meng, and Jiawei. There is one trainer in our class who is called as Miss Chen. And our topic for this podcast is called as being a teenager in a pandemic. Let's get started.
Hi, I am Jane and I'm 12 years old. Today we have Miss Adria for our counseling podcast. She graduated in a bachelor degree in psychology. She planned and executed activities for the individuals who joined the daily rehabilitation program. She then completed her master's in counseling in January 2020. She is working with young adults and teenagers who face issues such as stress, anxiety, low self esteem, loss of identity, and others.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Chen, a trainer at the Speech Academy. Thanks to our host and co-host, Teru and Tiayin, for introducing the podcast and our guest, Miss Adria. Miss Adria will now answer some questions posed by our public speaking advanced students, starting with a question from Yao Meng.
What is the healthy lifestyle of a teenager in this pandemic?
So yes, before I go into what's the healthy coping lifestyle or how teenagers are behaving healthily in this pandemic, I just want to share this concept of being healthy or unhealthy. Let's look into something more common for teenagers. Social media, I'm talking about TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, right? And some online gaming, be it offline, be it online. So this is something very close to your heart, I'm sure, and it can be healthy, they can be unhealthy as well. So there's this boundary that you shouldn't cross. So imagine you enjoying your time, scrolling through your Facebook, chatting with your friends, just to relieve your stress because you can't see them, right? You want to connect with them, and that's a healthy lifestyle. You are still maintaining that kind of connection with others instead of being isolated because everyone is staying at home right now. But if you do that on 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours straight without taking a break, then it become unhealthy. So it really depends on how you execute it, how you are carrying out that kind of activity. So I've seen a lot of cases. I talk to a lot of students just like you. They are in their elementary school, right? So from form 1 or year 7 all the way to year 11. So in between the age of 13 to 17 or even 18, they have been expressing themselves through all the common activities that I just mentioned. Social media is the top one thing. And I do also know teens or good friends who are not able to meet up during this pandemic. They basically just do video call the whole day, like literally the whole day. But they are not like talking to each other all the time. They are just turning on their video cam, just like having someone to be with them when they do their study or they are having a break playing some games. So it's having that companion, that kind of feeling like I'm not alone in the room. So it's utilizing the technology well. I have to say there's a lot of activities like this, right, where it can help you to relieve your stress, to help you to express yourself, stay connected with others. It's all come back to technology when you can just use WhatsApp and nudge them, right? So this is something that I find it the boundary is not being drawn clearly. First of all, the parents, they are so busy with the work, and how can teenagers expect themselves, or how we adults can expect them to know when to stop or how to control the usage on technology? I've been hearing parents are saying that, oh, my child is addicted into the game. Whenever my child wakes up, okay, then he will log on to the game and then play until lunchtime, then take 15 minutes break for lunch, and then he'll get back in front of the laptop, and then all the way until dinner time, 15 minutes break for dinner time, and then get back to the laptop again. Well, this kind is the unhealthy one, right? Because basically, the boy, I'm referring to this case, the boy, he didn't really spend any time, or he doesn't really care about logging into the online classes anymore. Homework, I don't care. Assignment, I don't care, right? I just want to play games. Right? So that become unhealthy because it's not only affecting his study, it's also affecting his general well-being, I would say. When you're so into the game itself, imagine that you are actually kind of isolated. You're no longer connected to your school, your teacher, your classmates. So you're only in this gaming world. No, I'm not against gaming, you see. This is something that I find it useful when it comes to someone that it can help them to release the stress. Having a pet, adopting a pet, virtual pet, building your own home, building your own house, decorating your own room. It's something stress-free, right? You don't have to think about it. You just enjoy the process, and throughout the 40 minutes or 1 hour time, you just spend your time, in this fantasy world. It's good. I mean, you get to relieve after one whole day of class, you just go there and enjoy yourself. But it has to come with this kind of self-control. You have to do it yourself. Your parents can control you, but will you be happy about that? Or will you just argue and fight back with your parents? So, no, I can control myself. I'm not on this for so long. 5 more minutes, or no, just an hour more. Well, your parents can do that on you. They can take away your gadgets. They can turn off the Wi-Fi, right? But would this really be effective? The real effective of self-control, right, comes from you, comes from yourself. Like, you have to know what's the purpose of you doing all this. You're trying to relax yourself, isn't it? You're trying to just have a good time. So make sure that this time is good enough and is effective enough that it doesn't cost you anything more than just relaxing. Give yourself a timetable, a schedule. Try to come up with something that is doable for yourself. Let's say you have been on this game non-stop for 2 hours, and now you tell yourself, my goal is to just play it for 30 minutes. Do you think it's doable? Not really. So maybe from 2 hours, you just want to cut it down to 1.5 hours, and then slowly reduce it to the ideal time span that you would like to have it on this game. You need to have that kind of self-control when it comes to technology, because it can become so addicted. I have teen telling me, I can't sleep at night. So I asked him, what do you do before you sleep? Well, I lay on my bed, I pull out my phone because I can't sleep, right? I'm bored. So I look at the YouTube videos, and then I just look at it, scroll one by one. There's this recommended video, I just watch it. And without me knowing, an hour has passed. So you see, it's eating up your time, and you are slowly addicted to it without you knowing. What I told this teen was, I told him, set an alarm in your phone then. After an hour or whatever it is, tell yourself that, have someone or something to tell yourself an hour has passed. It's time to sleep. Or it's time to put down your phone at least. Remind yourself about the time spent on technology. The more time that you spend on all this technology, it means that you spend lesser time with your family, with your friends, with your peers. Although yes, you connect with your friends, but it's different, right? It's different of just having a conversation with them, or just having a mealtime conversation with your family members. I seen a lot of cases, the teens, right? They are not having this habit of telling, of sharing their things with the parents because they are not used to it, right? So why not we take this opportunity from this pandemic? Pandemic is not something good, but try to make something good out of it. Right now, maybe you are 12, you are 13. This habit will carry on with you. And then when you're 18, when you're 19, you will still have that habit of sharing or willing to tell your parents about your own personal things. And that's very important because they will be your support system. Instead of you stepping into adulthood, having no one to listen to you because you don't cultivate that kind of habit for yourself.
Thank you, Miss Adria, for that very insightful explanation. Now we're going to go for our second question posed by Johnson from our public speaking advanced class.
Miss Ada, what tips can you offer to teenagers who are stressed out during the pandemic?
Well, it's certainly stressful for teenagers to go through this phase. It's stressful for everyone. Okay, it's stressful for the teachers, it's stressful for the parents, even stressful for counselors as well. There's a lot of changes that we will need to adapt, right? But students are someone or the population that often being overlooked. I found many support group or webinars targeting parents, targeting adults, working adults, targeting teachers, but I don't think I came across a lot of programs or webinars that are meant for students, elementary school students as well as secondary school students. They are the ones where public will often think that, you know what, just stay at home. You are still studying, you are still having online classes. Why do you complain about? You are still doing the same thing, okay? Maybe you are just, the only difference is that you are no longer sitting physically in the classroom. You're still having your class. Your teachers are still teaching. So why complain about it? Is there anything stressful for you? The answer is yes, definitely yes. Online learning is not something common. It's not something usual. It's not normal at all. Young children really have a tough time adapting to it. I'm referring to preschoolers or even maybe year 1 to year 3. Their childhood, their social connection, that kind of uh, social activity that they can have is being robbed away from them. They didn't have a choice. Teens, you are the same. You are in the phase of life where you want to connect with your peers, where your friends are more important than your family. But look at what is happening right now. You are being locked up with your parents, with your family. The thing that you are going after at your age, which is your friends, your peers, are no longer that available for you. Of course, that's being very stressful. You used to meet your friends every day, right? When you go to school, you sit right beside them, you get to interact with them, you hang out together after school, you get to go visit to cafe, do revision together. Do you still have it now? Yes, they can still connect online, they can still see each other virtually, but it's so different. So that's why there are so many anxiety and stress cases among teens right now. But sadly, a lot of parents, they don't really believe it. They were like, our teens going through rebellious time, they don't want to listen to me, they don't want to go to online classes. Well, it's actually more than that. It's when we talk about grief, right? Grief is a kind of response or kind of emotion where we usually associate it with someone that passed away. So when someone that you love pass away, you have that kind of grief feeling. Grief is not only related to death. As long as you lost something that is you hold so dearly, that you like a lot, be it a pet, be it an object, be it your favorite pencil case, right? It can cause or trigger the grief emotion. So teens right now, yes, ever since the first MCO until now, it's been more than a year. We assume that they have already adapted to this new norm, but the grief is not being addressed. That is why the anxiety is building up. That's why the stress is also building up, because it's not being addressed, it's not being processed, it's not even being recognized. So when you ask about, okay, if we can't talk to a counselor, if my parents don't think that I need to process my emotions with a professional help, what can I do for myself? What are the tips that I can apply on myself? Would be 3C. The first conversation is to have someone that you really trust to talk about. It's not only talk about something surface, is to talk about something personal, share about your emotions, your feelings, almost like a heart-to-heart talk. Try to find an adult that you trust and you can actually pour out to him or her, because adult can give you a different perspective, okay, a different perspective, or maybe even solutions of what you are facing. Talk to someone that you trust, which is an adult. Find that someone for yourself and go to that person when you feel like, okay, I really need to talk this out. I really need to find a solution for it. So that's about the conversation. Talk to someone that you trust. And the second thing is connect. This connect, you do it with your peers. Okay, you want to do it with a trusted adult, go ahead, but do more with your peers, with your friends that you used to talk to. Try to maintain that kind of connection with them. Yes, back then you all might not be talk about class, a teacher a lot through phone, because you see each other all day, in school, it's that kind of advantage. They can just talk, face to face. But now, not having that kind of opportunity, everything has to be shift online. Maintain that bond. It's not easy. There's a lot of teens telling me that I lost a lot of friends in this pandemic. Okay, I managed to connect with them, but not all. There are classmates that it's not really close back then, but at least we do talk to each other, hi bye or whatever, or when we see each other, we are in the same class, we just talk naturally. But when things are moved online, no, we don't talk to them anymore. So missing friends there, it's like cutting off connections really. So yeah, try to remain as much as connection that you can with your friends, and if possible, you can even take this opportunity to expand your social circle. Online friends, of course, you have to be very careful on this. All right, please make sure that you also let your parents or any adults know that what kind of friends you are making online when you have not met before, virtually, through games, through social media. This is all about internet safety, right? So yes, you can also even take this to expand your cycle, to know friends, not in Malaysia, in Singapore, I don't know, in Europe, in the States. You can exchange a lot of stories, let them know about Malaysia culture, and you can get to know their country's culture. So this is the benefit of technology if you use it wisely, right? So it comes to the third C then. It's about care. And this care is self-care kind of care. You need to take care of yourself. Like I said earlier, now that you are staying at home, you have plenty of time for yourself. You have all the time for yourself. You're no longer spending time traveling to school, to and fro. You are no longer spending time going to the tuition center physically. You're just staying home all time. So you have all these extra bits of time, right? When all the time adds up together, it's actually quite a lot. That goes like a few hours. So what are you doing with these few hours? Are you spending them on social media? Can you actually use this time for something else? Self-care, if you know that you are already very stressed, you know that you are being anxious, do something good for yourself. Something very basic. Make sure that you have a good sleep, make sure you have a good diet, good exercise. Exercise is something that it used to be compulsory for you. You have your PJK period or CCA, every week. But now everyone is at home. Then you will have to do it yourself. You have to take that initiative to do something for yourself. Even taking a walk out there, walking your pet. I don't know if you have one, right? Going to the park. You can do this by yourself, and it's just taking care of yourself. Having a good meal. Don't sleep until 12 in the noon or 1 in the noon. Then only you wake up and then look for your lunch. You should just have a good routine for yourself. This is how and where self-care comes in. Take care of yourself. Make sure you eat good food. It's not only eating on time. Eat good food, fruits, veggie. But yeah, don't forget about self-care. You need to take care of your body, because our body and our mind, it's connected and they influence one another. When you're already feeling stressed and then you don't take care of yourself, you don't sleep well, you don't eat well, imagine that's only going to add on to your current stress. But once your body is fit, it will affect your mind, maybe not to a state where you don't feel stress at all, but at least you won't be that anxious when you are being stressful. So yeah, that's the three things: conversation, connection, and care.
Thanks, Miss Adria, for that very helpful advice. We're going to have some Q&A now from our public speaking advanced students. Our first question is from Vanya.
It's a great pleasure for all of us to meet you here. And my question to you would be, what are the ways that teenagers would be able to cope with stress and feel happy?
Thank you, Vanya, for the question. To feel happy, it's something very subjective, right? My definition of happy is different from your definition of happy, and my way to make myself happy is also different from your way of making yourself happy. Okay. So this is the first thing first that we all need to recognize, because I know teens are in this stage where they do comparison a lot, peers comparison a lot. Like, why my friends they can be so happy after having just a piece of cake, and I'm sitting here all day feeling so sad, feeling so anxious, feeling so stressed. I ate 3 pieces of cakes and I'm still not feeling happy. So this is the first thing that you will need to be aware of and realize and to understand everyone is different. Something that works for your friend might not be working for you. So you need to find your own way, something that can bring you joy. Just an example from one of my case. So this girl, she used to enjoy drawing a lot. Okay, she loved drawing, and her drawing, I saw few of her art pieces. It's really amazing, right? But in this pandemic, so her issue is like being anxious, no motivation at all, and literally just feeling sad all the day. And looking at the friends, they are being happy, they don't have much issue, they are not being stressful. So all this thing adds on to her current stress already. Why can't I be happy? That's the question that she's asking. So what I did with her is that we explore what are the activities that she used to enjoy. Now, before even looking into the happy part, let's just look at the things that you used to enjoy. Maybe you are not doing it anymore. Okay, maybe you don't know whether these activities you still bring you the happiness. But we look back at it, the things that used to bring you joy, do it again. Yeah, that's something that I told her, just do it again. And she said, well, I don't feel like drawing anymore. I feel like whatever that I draw is so ugly. Why do I bother to to even spend time on it? I don't find a purpose doing it. And I said, I just encourage her. You used to enjoy it. Why not just give it a try another time? And she said, okay, I'll give it a try. And she spent a few days just to complete one piece of art. She used to, complete it very fast because it's something simple. She told me, wow, I have to admit that I don't feel that happy as I would expect. I said, well, of course, right? You're so stressed right now. But she said it did help me to at least lessen the burden, the psychological burden, the emotional burden that I'm having. Because when I was drawing, this is something that I used to enjoy. She's able to distract her attention and just focus on what she's doing. And this is what we call mindfulness, like just being here and now, focusing on the things that you do. Yeah, it helps with her anxiety and stress. So yeah, just start with that, finding something that you used to enjoy and do it again.
My question is, how can we use less social media during pandemic time?
Okay, thanks, Jared, for the question. Maybe the first question that you will need to ask yourself is, why am I spending so much time on social media? What is the thing that satisfy you? Is it the need to connect with others, or is social media a means for you to escape from whatever that you are facing, or to avoid any kind of, I don't know, conflict that's happening uh, at your house? So you need to ask yourself, why are you spending so much time first? There's always a reason behind it, especially when it comes to teens. And the common reasons that I have seen are usually the loneliness. They want to occupy that kind of, there's a hole within me. I don't know what to do. So I'll just do whatever that is going to keep me busy, which is scrolling Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It takes time. I don't need to think about it. So when I don't think about it, I don't feel it, which means I don't feel the loneliness, right? So that's one of the common reason for teens to spend so much time on social media. Well, the other reasons are more or less similar. Like I want to distract myself from something negative. The negative could be your stress. The negative could be you fed up with your parents. Whatever it is, you are trying to shift your attention on social media. So yeah, if you really want to cut down the time that you spend on social media, you will need to find out the real reason behind it. Why are you doing so? And then you tackle the real reason instead of just the behavior symptom that reflects that reason.
How can teens get to know who they're encountering and make sure the people they meet online are safe and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks Vinesh for the question. It's this. This one is about cyber safety, really. Cyber security, and the first thing that I always tell teens is that make sure someone knows about the friends or you making friends online. It could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your elder siblings. Let them know that you are making friends online. And let them know a little bit about the friend, whether you are making, whether you knew this friend through online game or through TikTok or whatever it is. Make sure someone knows about it. Okay, that's the first thing first. Like you are not hiding it or being really secretive about this making friends. I mean, if you're just making friends, why should you hide it from others, right? If there's no hidden agenda behind it, you should just let it be transparent. And this is also how you can build the trust of your parents on you. Handling them giving you the freedom of using the gadget. So, just generally let them know that I'm meeting this friend online, and we talk about blah 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 blah. Just let someone know. Okay, that's the first thing first. And the second thing is that make sure you don't share too much of your personal information. That's crucial. Nothing about your address, nothing about your um, photos, especially. So whatever photos is it, you have to be very careful because you never know who is the one behind the screen. This friend, yeah, we call it friend, we want to trust them, but you really have no idea who's sitting behind the screen and what do they do with your photos. Of course, you want to trust your friend, but because you don't know them, even your real life friends also, you have to be very careful about it when it comes to photos because they can misuse it very easily in this technology being so advanced kind of era.
Jaden, I believe you have a question.
My question is, can teenagers learn better than learning in the classroom?
Again, it's very subjective. It's already something not normal, all right? So some teens, they receive it well, they don't really care about it. They will do revision by their own. They do peer discussion or revision. They take that kind of initiative. So be it online or physical class, it doesn't really affect them in too much, right? But for some teams, they are really struggling with online classes. So it's also about the learning style of yours. Some of you need that kind of interactive style, right? Some of you are okay with just sitting there and looking at a screen. Some of you need to have your friends around. You need to know them, see them, hear them. Some of you are okay with just seeing your face, on the laptop screen or just your teacher's face, right? So I can't really tell or answer this question by saying how teens learn better because it differs from one teen to another teen. But one thing for sure is that they are all forced well or like to be able to perform well online. This is the expectations that the teacher or the school, most of the teachers they are expecting it from the students. But this is also another stressor. I'm sure the teachers are trying their best to make the class as fun as possible, but there's a lot of good teachers out there. Okay, they are making in effort, but putting effort and making sure that the learning is happening. It's not just like a one-man show thing. So I do know a lot of teens. They are also giving me feedback. Hey, I'm enjoying my class actually. But there are also some teens, from different school under different teachers. They are telling me what's the point of attending online class. And to be honest, I couldn't answer the question. So this is all about different learning styles. Yeah, it's about the learning style. But everyone is trying so hard to adapt to the new norm.
Hi, Miss Adria. So my question is, what should teenagers do when they find it hard to open up or express themselves to their parents or anyone in general?
Oh, that's a really good question. Thanks, Samantha. The tips that I gave to you all to talk to a trusted adult, it's a general tip. But a lot of teens find difficult because, like I said, if that kind of culture or habit is not being cultivated since they are young, parents just shut them off, parents dismiss or ignore their feelings ever since, when they are young, then it's not something that comes naturally for the teen itself. Why do I need to speak to my parents when I'm 16 and for the past 10 years I've not have this kind of habit of sharing my emotions, sharing my personal things with them. So it can be very difficult to open up yourself to your parents. So if your parents are not the chosen one, not the trusted ones that you can open up, try teachers. I know that a lot of teens that have a close relationship with teachers, even closer than the parents, right? Because they spend more time, they have that kind of trust rapport with the teacher, so they open up easily with their teacher. So you can try teachers or even try relatives. So I also know that some teens who are not staying with their parents, they are more comfortable with their aunties, their grandma. So yes, find someone that is within your reach, that you are feeling comfortable with. Maybe you don't really trust them that much, but as long as you have that comfortability with them, try to start from there, because at least there's someone that you're comfortable with. Then you build that kind of trust, right? Be there for you, and yeah, start with small talk, and then you build up from there.
So today, Miss Adria has talked to us about the healthy and unhealthy lifestyles we have during the pandemic, and she also has shared many insightful tips for teenagers who are stressed out during this pandemic. I believe that everyone who's listening to this podcast will have found it very useful. And I would like to thank Miss Adria for taking out her time to join us on this podcast here today. And I would like to thank everyone here for participating as well.
This is what we call peer support group, and it's different from the normal counseling that you will expect, because this is a group, right? Counseling, of course, it can be done individually, it can be done in a group, but peer support group, as the name says, is not about counseling. So yes, of course, it's still private, it's still confident, confidentiality is still being assured, but this is more for you to come in, to have that kind of connection with other teens. So the members or the group members of this group would be teens as well. So everyone will just come in and share their issues. So you will see that there are someone also going through the same thing as you. You won't feel that lonely. So this is the purpose of the group, and we are going to focus on communication or effective communication, because a lot of times, right, in this pandemic, all the arguments, the conflict, be it between you and your parents, you and your friends, or even you and your teachers, are often a result of the communication breakdown or ineffective communication. So in this support group for about 8 sessions, we are going to look at different communication style, how to communicate assertively, and how to resolve conflict, about the non-verbal cues, also about emotional awareness, because there's a lot of emotions going through happening when there's a communication, right? Active listening, where you can apply not only for yourself, for your parents, for your friends. So this is just like a having fun session. It's nothing formal, it's nothing educational. We just come in and learn from one another. So it's going to be online, and happening on every Wednesday, about 1.5 hours, depends how many group members we are having. So this is open for the public. We are looking to recruit teens between the age of 15 to 18, so 15 to 17. So if you feel like you need someone to talk about it secretly, parents don't know about it, I need someone to tell me what can I do, or what went well, what went wrong, just have a discussion. It's very pretty much discussion kind of a group. It's just meant for the teens to come together basically. So it doesn't matter where you are at Malacca, Penang, KL, it's online, so just join.
Remember to like, share, and comment to this podcast. Thank you all for watching, and thank you everyone here for joining the podcast.
Bye bye.